Hey everyone out there in Facebook world, Linda Reed-Enever, and welcome. Okay, sorry guys, I'm back. Hi everyone, Linda Reed-Enever, and welcome to an Ask Linda Live, to a little bit of a lesson, to an update on the page journey story if you have been following this so far. So I'm just here at the moment getting ready to share this with you, and apologies for losing a connection to the Facebook Live partway through, but I wanted to make sure that I got everything through over the next little while. And I'm actually just going to share this as a watch party to our BBB members, just so that they can understand what we're going to do. Actually, I might just share it. I don't want to share it as a watch party. I just want to share it in a group. Share in a group. Okay, I'm just going to share it into the group so that everyone can watch it. I'm not going to do a watch party because I can't watch two things at once. So you can come and ask me questions here. Okay, so what did I learn about losing my business page? Update on the business page. Issue last week. Okay, guys, I'm done. Okay, that's it. Apart from the fact that I've worked out that I lost a lot of sleep during the business page issue last week, I learned a couple of things, and I've also learned a little bit more about Facebook, and I have a new Facebook skill that I can teach business owners. Not that I'm pretty sure that anyone wants this Facebook skill or wants me to have it, but I do have it if you do need it. So for those of you who aren't aware, last Tuesday, I had my Facebook page hacked, and it was hacked because I clicked on a link that I thought was legitimate, and I had a partnership deal that I thought was legitimate. I clicked on that link. It then connected my account to someone else's business owner manager, and it actually gave them full ownership of my business account, so of my verified Facebook page. So throughout that journey, my page was not in my control. It was elsewhere. I had tried to not delete, but I tried to unpublish the page, and it was unpublished for a certain period of time there. And these other people had control of my Facebook page. Fortunately for me, I check in our insights reasonably, and if I see different activities that work different on our pages, then that's something I was going to do. So the first thing that came into this situation, guys, is there was an email partnership email come in via my Facebook page. We'd like to partner with you through Facebook to advertise by your page and ways to monetize your page. Now, the alarm bells went off, but I asked them to email me. I asked them to send me some more details. After 3 or 4 different emails back and forth about what the process was, some screenshots, everything looked legitimate. So I started to go through the process of, making sure my page was available for monetization, which you can all do. And you don't have to have Facebook, you don't have to do this with any partner. You can actually look for your page to be available for monetization within Facebook. That's another video for another day. You can do all of those sorts of things. So we looked through the monetization, everything was fine there. They then said to continue this partnership, click on a link. And I clicked on the link, and first warning for everyone is double check all the links that you ever get sent, run it through, have a look at it, and really double check all of your links throughout that process. Yeah, Kristen, hey, it's so frightening to think of this. It was absolutely scary. I don't say to people that I think I maybe got about 10 hours sleep while this was going on. So I'm a little bit sleep deprived today and a little bit tired. It was the most scariest thing that I think I've ever been through, apart from other situations and losing babies and that sort of stuff, miscarriage. But it was pretty scary. It was like my brand was out there in someone else's control for a number of days, and I had no idea what they were posting, no idea what they were doing, because I'd been removed as an admin from the page. I've been blocked from the page. I couldn't see what was going on, and that was most probably the most scary thing in my particular point of view. At least while I was still a page admin, I could undo what they were doing. I could go and delete it and do all those sorts of things. So the thing was, the page was put under this business manager. It was put under someone else's account. As I said, it looked really legitimate. It looked like it was awesome, and everything was ready to go. So first of all, the advertising option is not there. So don't look at it. And the other thing I would say to you is Facebook were incredibly supportive throughout this process. So once I realized the page was compromised, once I realized that there was behavior happening on this page that wasn't used to, it wasn't stuff that we'd posted, wasn't stuff that we'd scheduled out, wasn't stuff that we'd organized, I contacted Facebook, and I did a report through because I'm an advertiser and I have everything through my business manager, did a report saying, look, this account was under our business manager, it's now under this one. We didn't give them authority to actually take ownership of the page. Ownership should be retaining with us. So we fortunately knew within 24 hours the page had been compromised, and we got the report through to Facebook really quickly. Facebook at that stage in time had a look, had a review. They came back to me and said, look, what we need from you, and this is not a bad thing that they needed. What they needed from me was they needed me to go and see a notary. Now, a notary is not a GP. It's a different type of lawyer who signs documents for international recognition. And they needed me to go and fill out my documentation to prove who I said I was. Now, there's a couple of things I learned that were really important throughout this process that I do want to cover with you. So that notary process then was a documentation of explaining what was happening, similar to a stat deck, but it's, you know, signed with a different seal and different information, similar to a different seal that says that on the Facebook page, this is where I am, and sorry, this is who I am, and I own the Facebook page. So that was really good. I got an appointment to see a notary on Friday. I had the notary documentation in Friday afternoon. I hadn't left his office. He was such a lovely guy. Hadn't even left his office, and I was able to email that paperwork through to Facebook. By 1 a.m. Saturday morning, my Facebook page was returned to me. Now, there are a couple of really, really valuable lessons to learn from this journey. Okay, I had a couple of messages now. I don't know if they're the same, where people had said to me, I can get your Facebook page back. I've had a few more messages come through over the next little period. If someone messages your page with get started or hi or something like that, or we'd like to do partnership offers with you, my number one tip to you now, and I'm doing it to everyone that comes into this page and any of our business pages at the moment, is block and ban them from your Facebook page. They are not your target market. They are not the people that you want to do. Part of what was enabling me to get this page back without too much damage being done to it. Now, I did lose 6 months worth of Facebook posts. My videos, my photos and that were all still there, but I did lose 6 months worth of Facebook posts to this page. Part of what was actually an advantage in my situation was I have the blue verification tick. So the blue verification tick means that I have gone through Facebook's verification processes. I have proved who I am to them once before. So once I put my notary paperwork back in with the same ID and all of those sorts of things, my verification had come through, and that meant I was fine in that respect for being a verified brand on Facebook. So that blue partner tick was really important throughout that process. So make sure that you have that blue partner tick on your page if you've got it there, or the grey tick if you're not available for a blue tick. But if you're a public figure, make sure you go and verify your page for Facebook, because that was really key into them not being able to do a lot of things that they wanted to do with a Facebook page. So they deleted posts. They also, started to change the page URL. Which I was able to get changed back to the Linda Reed-Enever URL throughout the process, so that wasn't too bad. They also attempted to change the page name on 3 occasions. Now, being a verified page means I can't change my page name. It's Linda Reed-Enever, that's what it is. I'm a verified public figure. You can't change the page name without having to go through some processes with Facebook to go, talk about different situations. So they attempted that 3 times, and I think that's when they started to realize that they weren't going to get what they wanted, basically to get the page and use a like a base and set it up as another brand and another reach and another network. So that went through that process, and that's where that blue verified tick came in from my point of view. The other things that I learned and the other things that I suggest that you do is there is a 2-stage verification process to Business Manager. Now, we now have that in place across the business. We had passwords, but we now have 2 stages. You need the password and you need a text message coming through to one of your phones. So 2-stage verification process for Business Manager. All of our pages are now fully under Facebook's Business Manager account with individual admins as well. And the reason we are there is that protects the account. It means one of us can get in as an admin if one of us is locked out. And you should always have at least 2 admins on your Facebook page, possibly even 3, just so that one of you can get in and protect your page over that period of time. So we learnt those processes. We learnt the, we did the standard, change your Facebook password, change everything, log out of everywhere that you are, do all of those sorts of things. But what I did learn was about consistency. So throughout this journey, I was really transparent with Facebook, as soon as we were removed as admins from the page, I sent them another email on the case number and the case ID saying that we had been removed as admins, and keeping them informed throughout the process without being too like, oh my gosh, I want my page back, but just keeping them informed throughout the process and keeping that communication channel really, really clear. Facebook support, I cannot strike strongly enough for Himesh and the guys who supported me through Facebook. They were absolutely lovely. You know, from the moment in time, they could understand my frustration. They could understand my worry and my panic about, you know, the page had been compromised. And they were very supportive throughout that journey. So they were very lovely in saying, you know, we understand you wanting to get your Facebook page back and all of those sorts of things. So that was really, really good. I also understood their security reasons and why they needed that documentation signed, and not just by a public well, they not just by a witness, by a JP or anything like that. Look, JPs are lovely, don't get me wrong. This particular moment in time, though, cost me money. I had to go and pay a fee to get the page back, and it was something that we had to do. And the reality of it is why I'm actually grateful that we had to pay a fee is not just anyone can do it. You know, you can't just get someone else's ID. You've got to go through the process. You've got to go and talk to the notary. They've got to spot your ID and verify it and, you know, get the case story out and then be prepared to put their seal on the document to say where you are. So I'm actually quite grateful that we had to go through that verification process. Although it delayed things, it was really, really key to us going, well, hang on, I just didn't walk down to the local JP or get my mate who was a JP. Not saying JPs would do that, but get someone to sign some documentation. It really did take not just a copy of my ID, but it took verified copies of my ID, verified copies on international standards to get that information through to Facebook. Every time I communicated with Facebook, I had a response within 4 hours. And that even includes the report, you know, sending back of the paperwork in our Australian time zone and getting the Facebook page back. They literally were communicated with me equally as well as we did throughout Facebook. So my key lessons for anyone else who is in this situation is report it straight away to Facebook. Use the advertisers chat, use whatever you need to do to let Facebook know your page has been compromised. That's the first thing to do. Don't try and fix it yourself. Don't do anything like that. Don't respond to messages who are from anyone claiming to get your page back. You know, just screenshot them, do what you need to do. Keep the communication open with Facebook throughout that journey. Once you've got that done, Facebook are going to tell you what they need to do to give you your page back. And if it's go and see a notary and get that paperwork signed and documented, be grateful that they're doing that ID check and do that ID check. Secure your account by resetting your passwords, by resetting your usernames, and by putting in two-factor identification on all of the stuff that you've got out there. That is really, really huge. And that's most probably been driven home to me a little bit further over the next little while about doing those sorts of things. And just choose your partners wisely. Choose the things wisely. Even if something looks legitimate, if you think you've got too much on at the moment, or there's too much going on in your business world, or it sounds too good to be true, do a little bit more due diligence. Don't fall to the pressure of people asking you to click on these links and do stuff and give you authority and et cetera, et cetera. Go through your processes. And you can always add someone to your business manager. And that's what the big lesson that I learned from this is I can add someone to my business manager and I can always take them away. But there is no way that I can ever add my accounts to someone else's business manager again and then try and have them and lose access to them. So that is something that we definitely will not do again. So it's about managing our business manager and adding people. If we want to let people into our accounts, we can add them, we can remove them, but we have admin and we have ownership control over that sort of things. So guys, I strongly suggest that if you haven't checked who has ownership of your Facebook page, you go and do that now. So go to the settings of your page, look at page people and roles, and check who has ownership of your Facebook page. Make sure it is you, or it is your business manager, or it is someone there. So while you are there in Business Manager, set up that two-factor authentication component. I will get words back after I get a little bit more sleep and a bit more coffee. Enable that two-factor identification process. And, you know, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. And also don't beat yourself up. This can happen to anyone. It's happened to, one thing I found out was that it happened to more people that I knew than I thought it did. And it is something that in the end, if you can prove who you are in your journey and that you are the business owner, Facebook, you know, they've been great. They've been amazing in standing in my shoes and working with me and that sort of stuff and helping me get through this journey. So the reality of it is we've got to report. And if something looks suspicious, report it, block it, ban it. And if someone sends you messages to your page that you're not comfortable with, ban and block them and just keep them off your page and off the radar so that they don't have to see it. And report them to spam. Report them as spam to Facebook, because that when you report it as spam, spam and you block it, that's going to trigger the algorithm from Facebook's point of view, and it's going to let Facebook know that you're concerned about the message that you're getting. It doesn't seem right. So, if we're not doing our due diligence, and our part of being the community by reporting those messages, and I went and reported, I had ones from the past that I'd ignored. I went and reported all of those as well. If we're not doing our due diligence by reporting this stuff to Facebook, then Facebook can't watch what's going on and they can't get involved throughout the process. So I'd like to say thank you to the team at Facebook for getting it done. I'd like to thank Stephen Brown, who is our lawyer. I'd like to thank Michael Hennessy, who's a notary, who helped us get this component stuff together. I would like to thank Clive, who was very, very patient with me, and Charlotte, who was patient with me while I was in a completely stressed mode. And I won't deny it. I was stressed. I was tired. I was worried about what I'd done to my page and how I'd been so silly to fall for it. But the reality of it is, it wasn't so much silly. It was, I just watched the legitimate stuff that I thought had come there, and I'm human, so I'm going to make mistakes just like everyone else. And yeah, I made a mistake that allowed the page to get hacked. Not great, but we will move on, and that is the week ahead. So guys, I would thank you all for supporting me. If you like the other page, we have a merge request in, and hopefully that'll come across over the next little while, and the merge request will come in and take effect. So that page is currently unpublished, and it'll come back over to this one. And I would like to just thank everyone for their support, for the kind messages I got from the BBB community, from the kind messages I got from my friends list as well throughout this journey, because it was one that I wasn't ready for. And I definitely not a new skill set that I wanted to pick up, but I have picked it up now. So there is something else I can teach about Facebook, and hopefully reassure anyone who gets in the same boat that you can, once you go through the process, and the process does work, to get your page back. Okay, happy Monday, everyone. I'm going to go off now and continue working, but I just thought I'd touch base with you all and give you an update and let you know what happened, and let you know, hey, yes, it is actually me, and I am back, and the Facebook page is back under our control. Okay, bye.